Okay, I'm going to say good evening to everyone from the UK. We're going to leave it a few minutes. We've got quite a few people signed up for tonight, over 100 in fact, actually. So as people's connections come in, we'll start to see attendee lists increase, and we'll be able to go through the full jam-packed evening that we've got for you. This is going to take around about an hour to an hour and a half, and some housekeeping here. For those people that are attending, I want to find out more about the fantastic facilities, both educational and clinical, at Masaryk University. We've got a wonderful presentation by Susanna. Just wave, Susanna, so we can see you. Susanna from the international office there. And at the end of that, you'll have the chance to ask questions. Now, what I'm going to ask for questions is you can type them in at any point you wish during the presentation. At the bottom, you will see a little icon saying Q&A. What I want you to do is type your questions into there, and please do not worry, we are not going to identify you during the presentation by your name. We will read every single question out if we can get to them all. Ooh, someone's raised their hand. Please don't raise hands, but just type questions in. If you tap your questions into the Q&A, or you ask questions on Facebook or YouTube or on LinkedIn, because we're streaming on multiple sites this evening, you can ask your questions there. I will read them out, and that's for two benefits. It's so everyone else on the presentation tonight can actually have their questions addressed. Also, this is being recorded. It's being live streamed on YouTube, and that recording will be there forever on YouTube. So people who are watching the replay of this will need to know what your questions were. But as I said, please feel free to ask any particular question you want. There's no such thing as a silly question whatsoever. We've had so many different types of questions. The only silly question is the one that you don't actually ask. So more people are dropping in little by little, and I'm going to kind of head over to the social media in a bit, but I'm going to do some introductions. So we've already introduced Susanna from the international office to do the presentation tonight. We have Helena Melicharova from the head of the international office, who I've worked with for many, many years. And then joining us tonight, we've actually got the Vice Dean himself, a famous cardiac surgeon from Masaryk University. Oh, apologies. And last but it's going to happen, isn't it?
And this is the Corentin Bellet, our third-year students of the general medicine, and at the same time the president of MIMSA, which is Masaryk International Medical Student Association. And he will tell you all his experiences, everything how MIMSA supports students, and his own experiences about the studies in Brno and in Masaryk University.
Yeah, apologies for that, everyone. Little dry throat there for a second, but well, I'm now back on full form. It always happens at the start of the webinars, actually. Anyway, so as I said, we've got, looking at the stats now, we've got plenty of people joining us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and on YouTube, and as well as many anonymous people as well. So what I'm going to ask is, Susanna, I think you've got a presentation for us, which will take around about half an hour. As Susanna gets ready for the presentation, anyone who doesn't have any questions at all, please do just type them into the Q&A, and we'll deal with everything at the end. The chat feature won't be working, so please just use the Q&A. I myself have been to Masaryk University and to Brno many times. The facilities are amongst some of the best, not just in the Czech Republic, but the whole of Europe. And I know that because I've spent much of my life working in a UK university. Whether it's the clinical simulation center, the fantastic hospital next door, or the wider facilities available across the city, students do find the facilities at the university absolutely truly spectacular, as well as the city of Brno being a fantastic place in which to live, not just as a city in itself, but also in terms of its proximity to other large cities like Vienna, Berlin, etc. So, Susanna, I'm really spoke too much now, so I'm going to hand over to you, and I'll mute myself, and then everyone will hear from me at the end when we go through the Q&A. So, Susanna, the floor is yours.
Yes, I was just thinking whether I will start with the presentation or we will hear from the Vice Dean first, so I was just confused.
I think you can start with the presentation. Just please open the screen widely.
Yes, I will do so.
And the Vice Dean will take the floor a bit later.
Yeah, okay.
Super.
Yes, so I will introduce myself once again. So I am Susanna, and together with Helena, we work at the International Study Office at Masaryk University at Faculty of Medicine. And we are really glad that we can present you our university, and we would like to thank also Ben for organizing this webinar to give us the chance to give you a better image of what we are offering. So I will be telling you not only about our Faculty of Medicine, but I will also tell you about the city where we are located, and nevertheless, I will explain you the whole admission procedure. So we are in the Czech Republic, which has really a convenient location in the Central Europe. Of course, we don't have a sea, we don't have an ocean to offer you, so we cannot probably compete with that, but we have lots of other beautiful things which you can visit in the Czech Republic. So definitely, even if you don't decide to study in Czech Republic, it's worth to put it on your bucket list and visit the country as the tourist. So Czech Republic really has nice, for example, lakes. We have many historical cities. We have many castles that you can visit. Nature and many beautiful national parks. So if you like doing hikes, we can offer it to you. And of course, we have a long tradition of quality education, especially of course when it comes to medicine. Within these days, I must also mention that it's really a safe country, as we know what the situation is now in the world. So really, it's a safe country to live and then to study. And when I compare the costs of living, of course, when I compare it with major countries in Europe or other outside of Europe, the costs of living are lower compared to that. So our university is located in Brno. It's a bit complicated to pronounce it for the foreigners. I think the 3 consonants make the trouble there, but I'm sure you would learn it during your studies. So it is the 2nd largest city in Czech Republic. Of course, we have the capital, Prague, which is well known, and I'm sure lots of you have visited it. And Brno is, let's say, a little sister, we can call it like that. But it is a nice student city. I always say that, for example, compared to Prague, which is very touristic, it can be overwhelming, always full of tourists. Brno is a nice student city. There are more universities. So Masaryk University is not the only one there. That's why the ratio of students, of young people in the city is so high, because there are 10 universities altogether. And many students, they choose Brno not only for full-time degree studies, but also for short-term mobilities like Erasmus programs, free movers. So they spend 1 or 2 semesters in Brno. So it's very, very popular for international students. We have a nice, I would say, public transportation system. It's also quite cheap compared to other major European cities, and you as a student will have lots of discounts, and it's also valid for the public transportation. I mentioned that Czech Republic has the central location in Europe, so you can visit many cities around us. And just about the location, we are very close to the Brno itself is close to Vienna. We are like 2 hours away from Vienna, so we always use the airport services of Vienna rather than from Prague, which is 2.5 hours away. But when you will have time during the weekend, you can always make a short trip and visit these cities around. But as this webinar is for students from UK, I should not forget to mention that we have an airport in Brno, and it has direct connection, flight connection to London Stansted Airport. So I think it's a big plus for you, because you can fly directly to Brno. And Brno is a small airport, so you don't need to be there 3 hours ahead, because you will get really quickly through, and it will take you directly to London. As I mentioned, that Brno is a vibrant student city. I want to mention that we have lots of let's say, cafes, restaurants. So if you have time, as I said, we have the direct flight. Come and visit us, visit the city, experience it, what it is. Of course, you as medical students will need to, first of all, manage your time wisely, but you cannot be buried in books 24/7. You need to refresh your brain cells. And Brno will help you with that, because when you will be walking in the city center, it will be crowded with people. When the weather is nice, in spring, there will be lots of cafes having some tables outside. So there will be lots of people that you can meet, and you can have some good food. You can go visit some festival. There is always going something in the city center. I already mentioned the costs of living, so definitely it's lower comparing to other major cities in Europe. But of course, it depends on your lifestyle. But we always say that you should be fine within 500 to 700 euros per month, including the accommodation. Now, with the accommodation, you have two choices. Of course, the cheaper version is to stay at the dormitories, or you can find a private accommodation, which would cost a bit more. I already mentioned the city transportation, that for students you pay just around 25 euros for 3 months and you can travel 24/7 around the city. And for example, with the food as well, we have student canteens that you can use. So there are places where you can save money and there are lots of student discounts. So I think it's very reasonable prices in Brno. So Masaryk University, it has already a long tradition because our university is more than 100 years old. Currently, we are celebrating the 105th anniversary, so there are some special events planned thanks to this. And Faculty of Medicine is only one of the 10 faculties. As you can see, we have Faculty of Science, Faculty of Informatics, Pharmacy, 10 faculties altogether. That's why it is a large university. It's more than 35 students who chose this university to study. So it's really, really huge university with a long tradition here in the Czech Republic. But we are here for you because you are interested in medicine, and that's why I would like to tell you something more about our faculty. We are located in part of Brno that it's called Bohunice. So our university is located in campus Bohunice. You can see the main entrance, or the building with the red entrance is the entrance to the Faculty of Medicine. It is really a nice modern campus, and it's connected directly to one of our teaching hospitals, which is the white building right next to it. Yes, in this area, in this campus, so you don't have to travel around the city to different departments. You have everything in one place. There are the lecture rooms, there are laboratories, everything will be there in the campus, especially when you are in the first and second year, you will be spending all your time here. This nice bridge that you can see there that is coming from the entrance will take you to let's say a smaller shopping mall, which is important, I think, factor to mention, so you know that you won't starve when you will be hungry doing all that studies, because there is a food court, there is a grocery store, actually Tesco grocery store, that during the breaks you can just go there, have something for lunch, or there are banks, there is a pharmacy, so everything there is all together. So you're actually spending your life around the campus. Maybe important thing was also to mention that we have Faculty of Sports right across the street, so you can even use sports facilities. So what we are really proud of is our simulation center, or as we like to call it, simulation hospital. This is really a unique facility that is part of the campus. It's right at the end of the campus, and you need to imagine it like a real hospital. It has 5 floors. So on the ground floor, we have the emergency floor. We have our own ambulance car. There is second floor dedicated just to the dentistry students. And there are other floors where you can find ICU units, operating theaters, delivery room, everything just like you see it in a hospital. You will see it here in our simulation center. So I must stress that it's something unique, not only in Czech Republic, but especially in Central Europe, if not whole. It's really something what we are very proud of, and we are really glad that our students can study there and try everything in a simulation environment before they go and treat the real patients. Because as we say here in the simulation center, you can still do the mistakes and learn from them. So it's a lot of problem-based learning, I would say, method used here. But I will be mentioning simulation center through the presentation more times. So you have already seen one of the teaching hospitals, because as you know, in the higher years of your studies, you will do your clinical rotations. So we have 5 of them. One of them is right next to the campus. The others are located around the city center. So you have many facilities well equipped where you can do your clinical rotations. So we are offering 2 programs, 2 English programs. It's general medicine and dentistry. General medicine is for 6 years and dentistry for 5 years. I would like to say something about the tuition fee now that we have it on the slide. So the tuition fee here is, we have it in Czech crowns, but approximately it's 15,000 euros per 1 year. And for dentistry, it's a bit more. It's around 15,800 euros per year. Important is that you can pay in 2 installments, so means separately for each semester. So if once you are admitted, you don't have to pay for the whole year. You can pay just for the 1 semester first. Important is also the fact that the tuition fee is not changing. Yes, so you pay the same fee through your studies. Once you study with a certain fee, you will continue with the same fee through the years. It's not like increasing during your studies. So let me tell you something more about each program, just very briefly, so you can imagine what the studies looks like. So for general medicine, as I said, it is for 6 years. And these 6 years, we can say, are divided in 2 parts, which are preclinical and clinical part. The preclinical are through years 1 and 3, but we can say the 3rd year, it's already slowly, let's say, a transition year to the hospitals. Each year is divided into semesters. Yes, so it's each which consists of 15 weeks and followed by 6 weeks of examination period. The important thing is that the classes in the 1st and 2nd year are taking place at the campus, what I have shown you, and also in the simulation center, because already as a 1st year student, you will have your first aid classes there and anatomy classes there. And then more and more classes through your studies will be in the simulation center. The clinical part of your studies is done in the 4th, 5th, and 6th year. So during these 3 years, you will do your clinical rotations at those 5 hospitals that we have. But of course, in the final year, on the 6th year, you will do pre-graduation practices or internships, and I will tell you more about it. You can do them also abroad, but I will come to that shortly. For dentistry, it's really similar, but it's a bit shorter. It's 5 years of study, but nevertheless, the studies are hard as well. So some people think that dentistry maybe is easier, but it's not, definitely not. So once again, the dentistry students, they have a whole floor, the 2nd floor of simulation center dedicated just to them. Dentistry studies is very practical right from the start, from the 1st year. So you will be spending in the simulation center. And then from the 3rd year, you will be also visiting the stomatology clinic in center of Brno. And of course, it's the same. The final years includes those internships and of course the state exams. So I mentioned already the pre-graduation practices that you, in the last year, you can do them also abroad. Most students do them in their home country because they want to experience the health system there, because they will be returning there after the graduation. And it's also part of the language problematic, I would say. Maybe one thing, don't worry, when you will be in the hospitals, in the Czech hospitals, you will need to be able to speak a bit of Czech, but it's part of your studies. So the first 4 years, you will also have Czech classes, but do not worry, you will start from the beginning, learning how are you and so on, because you need to be able to ask where does it hurt and so on in the hospitals, because of course you will meet older people who do not speak English well, or people who are sick and not feeling well and cannot express it, what the problem is in English. But the doctors, the nurses, everyone will be speaking English, so they will be supporting you through the process. Our degree are globally recognized, so it means your doors is open. So you can decide to stay in EU, you can go back to UK, but you can go to US. It's all up to you. In case someone decides, or we have some here at someone from US, students need to pass the USMLE exams, of course. And the step 1, step 2 can be done during your studies here with us at our university. So we have students who pass those exams, yes, and then after the graduation, they found their residency, and we have graduates in US. Maybe a good thing is that we offer a scholarship in case you successfully pass step 1 or step 2. We will cover the costs of the exams or the expenses of the exams. For UK, we have some connections to the UK hospitals, especially in Liverpool. So many students for UK do their pre-graduation practices there directly in Liverpool. But you can use also different mobility programs such as Erasmus Free Mover. If you find any hospital or you yourself have some connections to hospitals, you can always come to our office, discuss it with the possibilities, and we will offer you the right program to choose from, how to do the practice abroad. So now I'm coming to more practical information about the admission procedure. So how to apply. So once I hope we caught your attention and we attracted you to study at our university. So once you would like to apply, there are 2 conditions. So you need to finish your high school successfully and you need to pass our entrance examination tests. So for UK applicants, it's mostly to have 3 A-levels. This is important that you need to have 3 A-levels. We are not looking at the subjects yet, so we don't have specific conditions about what subjects those 3 A-levels should be, but because we will check your science knowledge ourselves. So then you need to contact our partner, so in this case, Medical Doorway, so Ben, and he will help you with the whole admission procedure and submitting electronic application. You can see how it looks like, just to give you an image. So the personal information needs to be filled out and you need to attach your final diploma, but in case you don't have it from high school, you can attach predicted grades, for example, or some transcript of records from previous semester, so we know that you are in your last year of studies. Then, so I said that we will check your science knowledge, and we will do so as follows. So you will need to write 3 tests. So chemistry and biology are compulsory for everyone, but then as the 3rd test, you can choose between physics or mathematics. These are all multiple choice questions, tests, and each test contains 40 questions. The only difference is mathematics that has 20 questions because you need more time to do the calculations. There is always just 1 answer correct, and there are no negative points. Regarding the acceptance mark, so in general medicine is 60%, and for dentistry is 65%. Maybe I should mention that for general medicine, we are accepting around 200 students each year, and for dentistry, only 20. That's why you even need to score more points in the test, because the places are very limited. We already have entrance examination dates set with Ben, with Medical Doorway, so the exams will take place on 14th of April and 30th of June in London. So someone from our office will come there, as well as a representative from the university, to conduct those tests. We always try to be very quick with the results. So you will always know the results within 5 days, whether you are admitted or not. And straight away, I will prepare the admission documents for you, and these documents will be sent to Medical Doorway, and they will distribute it to you. And these documents are very important because they include the invoice for payment of the tuition fee. You will have a deadline specified there which you need to meet, because with this payment you are, let's say, accepting and securing the seat at our university. So really don't forget that there is a deadline for payment of the tuition fee, and as I mentioned, you can pay just for the 1st semester. You don't have to pay for the whole year. So you will need to apply for a visa, unfortunately. Yes, most of you. We really advise you to use the services of the agency, because I know Mr. Ben already has connections with the Czech embassy and can help you with this, can sort out all the documents. And these admission papers will also include documents that you need there, especially those of you who will do the exam at the end of June. Need to apply immediately, really quickly, because unfortunately the visa process for the Czech Republic can take quite a lot of time, sometimes even 3 months, but let's hope it won't get to that. So what else will be needed? You will also receive instructions what documents we need from you to do the verification of your secondary school. We know that those of you who will have A-levels, you will have the documents, you will know the result in August, and you will have the final certificate, let's say November, if I'm correct. In this case, you need to at least provide us statement of results at the enrollment, so we know it will be a temporary document for us. Yes? About the accommodation, as I mentioned, you have the option to stay at our university dormitories. The booking will take place in the summer. We will provide you all the information how to do it. Yes, so we have more dormitories around the city, but they are easily, say, accessible with the public transport. So they are within 15 to 25 minutes by bus or by tram, so they are not so far from the campus. Those of you who prefer, let's say, something more luxurious, you can also find private accommodation or a private dormitory. We have Domek. There are some students who stayed there as well, so it's a nice place to stay as well. So it is up to you. What the students usually do is that they stay at the dormitories within the first and second semester, and once they get to know the city, they know which part they like, and they have classmates, they find some private shared accommodation later on, because of course medical students need quiet place to study, and some of the dormitories might not be the best option for them. Regarding the preparation, what we can offer you, definitely check our website, because we have their sample tests and syllabi. You can see what the format of the test is and what to expect. Yeah, you can see whether you have covered those topics in your high school or not. And when you find out that you need more preparation from biology or chemistry, you can purchase our e-learning preparatory courses. They cost €100 each. And these courses are designed in the form of material for self-study. So it is up to you how much time you will spend studying. You can do it from home. And these courses are also prepared by the teachers who prepare the entrance examination test. So if you will find out that you need to study more because the tests are not easy, definitely you still have time to prepare with these e-learning preparatory courses. We have also included foundation program here into this presentation because it might be interesting for some of you. This is a preparatory program that we offer. It's in person, and it runs every year from October till March within our campus facilities directly there. And it's for those of you, for example, if you need more time, you have not focused on science during your high school, and you need more preparation for the exam, this would be ideal for you, because you will learn there the chemistry, biology, physics, and everything what you need to prepare for the entrance exam. In case it happens that you would not be successful this year with your entrance exam, you can also apply for this foundation program and prepare again for the entrance exams next year. The applications will be open from April to July, so there is still time. Even if in June you, for example, do not pass the entrance exam, but you are really interested to studying at Masaryk, you can still apply to the foundation year, refresh the knowledge through the year, and apply again. The important thing to mention is that completion of this program does not replace the A-levels. Sometimes we receive these questions, so you need to have 3 A-levels, even if you want to attend the foundation program. It won't replace it. So this just really quickly, because we have here a representative from MIMSA. So MIMSA is Masaryk International Medical Students Association. As I say, it's a group of nice young medical students which help us with the orientation week. And we have here Corentin, who will tell you more because he is the president of MIMSA. So they are not only helping with the orientation week, but they are organizing many interesting events such skiing trip and volleyball tournament, charity week. But they also have an education team, which is important for first-year students because they offer tutoring. So if you will feel lost on beginning of your studies, you have here students who will help you. Yes, because they already did it. They passed the exams. They are in the higher years. So really, those are the students you need to then get in touch with. And me and Helena, we are part of the International Studies Office, and we have other 4 colleagues there who will be there to help you and to support you. We are an English-speaking team dedicated just to the international students. Yes, we have 2 study officers, Teresa and Marketa, and then we have Zuzka and Lucy, who are in charge of exchange and mobility programs and recognition of your secondary school. So we are here, all of us, to help you. Our doors and office are open for you. Masaryk University also offers psychological consultations in English. We have a Teresia Center, this center helps, for example, students with learning disabilities. So we have support system set at Masaryk University, and I'm sure you will like to study there. My last thing just to tell you is what to expect from the first days in Brno. The tuition this year, it will start mid-September, 16th of September. So it's quite early, maybe comparing to other universities, but bear in mind that you need to start on 16th September because we do not tolerate any absences, because the presence is strictly monitored at the different practices and seminars, so you really need to be there from day one. The enrollments will take place week prior the school starts, so you will receive an invitation in your admission papers when to come. So probably on 10 or 11 September, you need to come for the enrollments and then start the school the next Monday. Within this enrollment week, there is also orientation week organized with MIMSA. So in the afternoons, you will have different activities to get to know each other, get to know Brno better. So I personally think it's better to come earlier, so you have time to adapt. You have time to enjoy the city still in the nice weather, let's say, like summer, the end of summer. And then from day one, from 16th of September, the tough work starts and you would be ready to start and learn the medicine. Yes, so that's everything from me. So if you will have any question in the future, you can either contact us or you can always contact the agency Medical Doorway because they are well experienced. So if I think most of the questions they can answer directly.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Susanna, and showing us a lot about the university and Brno. And I'm going to quickly ask Professor Krivan to come online now. And just if you've got any questions, anyone, please type them in, because Professor Krivan, you'll see obviously at the enrollment week, and we were there last year for the fantastic barbecue on the Friday afternoon, actually, which is something which no other university offers, an outdoor barbecue with various things to sample: Czech food, international food, Czech beer, etc., Czech wine from a specialist vineyard, which was absolutely delicious. Pity I couldn't bring some home with me. But Professor Krivan was there as well and actually met the students, and then you'll see him again eventually when you're in the clinical environment, especially in the areas of cardiac surgery. So if anyone's got any, I would say, questions for the professor, please ask them now. But I'll hand over to you, Professor, to kind of give us your ideas about why students at Masaryk University make some of the best doctors, considering we've got hundreds of graduates working in the NHS right now.
Hello, nice to see you all. My name is Krivan. I'm a Vice Dean for International Students, and it's my great pleasure to welcome possible candidates for studies at Masaryk University, as well as their parents, if they are connected. And I'm not here only to invite you as a Vice Dean, but mainly as a teacher. As Ben already said, I'm a cardiologist, not cardiac surgeon, but it's a little bit different, but it's still a very interesting job. And I'm also a teacher. I teach the students in the 3rd year in clinical introduction to medicine. I teach them in the 5th year with the lessons of cardiology. And I teach all the students also in the 6th year during the pre-graduation practice. And as a head of examination committee of state exams in internal medicine, I personally meet every student, every international student during his or her state exam. So I can say I meet a lot of students, or all of the international students, during the course in our university, and I'm very proud to teach them because we have very different types of students. We have nearly 800 students from 40 different countries. So international students are not minority at our school. They are really a huge group of people who are educated in medicine. A lot of things have been already said, so I would only add few comments. You have seen the pictures of our campus or hospital or the simulation center, which is the biggest in Europe at this moment. And I can promise you that in reality, it looks much better than in the photographs. So if you come, you will be really surprised. What I should add to the Brno as a student city, there is one information for parents I'd like to emphasize. Brno is a very safe city. I am a father of 4 children, and I'm not afraid if they go alone in the evening to the city or if they go for the night, because I know that there is no danger here in this part of Czech Republic. Well, 3 of my children already study at Masaryk University, which I think is a good recommendation. And what should I say? I wish to all you who decide to try the entrance exam for our school, I wish to all of you good luck, and hopefully see you in the end of the holidays at the start of September, as Ben mentioned, in the orientation week, which is finished by barbecue, where all the freshers and even their parents may meet together with us and with the study office and with new friends and make some new contacts. So wish you good luck, and hopefully see you next year during the teaching at our school.
Wonderful. Thank you, Professor. Okay, before we move on to the questions, Corentin, I think really the students and even the parents are going to want to hear from you really about your experiences. So I think you're a 4th or 5th year student now, correct me if I'm wrong?
I'm a third year.
Third year, sorry, even third year. So
Yep.
Now you're involved with MIMSA. We'll talk more about MIMSA in a bit, but tell us about kind of your reasons for choosing Masaryk University at Brno, Czech Republic, and about your experiences, because you're literally about to start the clinical phase of your training.
I choose Masaryk because I applied during the summer for a medical school because I didn't want to do it in France because I'm French, and I found Masaryk and I really loved the campus because I visited it, and I just wanted to be part of English program, medical studies, and I just like really fell in love with the cities. Like as Susanna told us, like I started my first year in a dorm, so like you meet a lot of people and then you feel comfortable in the city, and you get to have like your own accommodation with your friends, maybe more in the city center and stuff. So like the city is really safe, as they told. Like I've never had any problem since I'm here. About the study wise, like the first year was so entertaining. I really loved it because like the anatomy program is really, really detailed. It's really like serious while keeping you entertained, and it's not like old school. It's really like the new way of teaching. The senior center is amazing. Like I really enjoy my studies, and since I'm here, I have nothing to say. Like I'm super happy to be here, and I wouldn't change it for sure.
And obviously, I think one thing I want to labor on there is Masaryk University gives every single child. They expect you to work hard. They expect you to study. This is medicine, and the university has a fantastic ranking. And there's a question about ranking and reputation, which I've got a fantastic answer for. But unlike in the French system where it's competitive, there's like they admit like say 500, 600 students into year one, and they cut a significant number of those out. That's not the case in Masaryk. You're assessed as an individual against a set of criteria, what's called a criterion reference system. And that's possibly, I think, why we're seeing more students from France, Switzerland, etc., wanting to study in places like Brno, because they're actually treated as an individual, not in competition against other students.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's the feeling that I got, and it's like mainly why I went there, and like it's all the friends that you made along the way, and everyone shares a lot of resources towards succeeding. So like there is literally nothing for you to fail if you're doing it properly and seriously, honestly.
Consistently. Okay, now we're going to start looking at some of the questions. Some of them are quite basic, and some are going to require some more discussion. We've got a good, well over 20 questions in there. Some basic ones have been answered already. Some basic ones that students have asked automatically is about IB and A levels, which Susanna talked about. And this is the critical thing about the university. while you need to have 3 A-levels, 3 full A-levels to enroll, or the IB diploma or the equivalent qualification like CBSC or the US high school diploma, what matters is, do you pass the university entrance exam? The university focus on what's in your head on the exam, not what's written on paper about you from school. So there are 2 aspects. There's selection and there's enrollment. And your selection is equal. Everyone is treated equally. So if you take the exam and you pass the exam, you will be admitted irrespective of if you get an ABC or AAA or BBB. Those grades will not matter as long as you graduate with 3 full A-levels and therefore have a legal right to go to university here in the UK. And the same applies if you take the International Baccalaureate diploma or another qualification like the French Baccalaureate. So you can go in with multiple programs. And that's perhaps, I think, one of the strengths of, say, the Czech system and the Masaryk system compared to what we do here in Britain, where you get your offer conditional on achieving certain grades and you don't find out until August if you've been accepted or not. Once you've passed that exam, your offer is de facto unconditional. Just make sure you do pass your A-levels or your IB, please. So don't worry about that. So as a result, the IB results or AP results don't have any impact on your enrollment, provided you graduate successfully. Now, the fees, someone's asked a question about fees. The fees are the same for everyone, irrespective of whether you're international or EU. The fees are the same for everyone. And there's no application fee for the institution, for the university. There only is the exam fee to cover the cost of running the exam. And all of that is published on the Medical Doorway website. Someone's asked about Czech language, and I'm going to hand over on this one now. Says, what's the intended level of Czech language to get the diploma? Well, you don't need Czech language to enroll, but you will be taught Czech language during the program, so you can start to communicate with patients. The person I'm going to hand over to here is definitely going to be Corentin, because actually, Corentin, you've gone from speaking English and French. I don't know if you speak any other languages, but you're now then obviously in the process of learning Czech. How has that been for you?
Yeah, it's a really smooth process. I would say the first semester is easy, really basic Czech with basic grammar, and then you just consolidate it. And I think from your second semester you start already to use medical language, because as a third year I can speak about it. During your second to third year transition, you will go to the hospital. You will meet with patient. The doctors are super nice regarding that. They let you I would say improve your Czech step by step. But the fact is that you will always be in contact with Czech language, whatever you will do in the city. So I would say it's not something you should be scared of, because if you study well the language during the class and you just maintain a more normal level of studying, it should be fine. If I take my case, maybe I'm studying 3 hours, 4 hours a week, maybe after the, let's say, 5 hours of class that we have. So yeah, it's just every other language. You just learn it step by step and it's fine. I promise it's fine. Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm going to skip forward to some of the questions here, because 2 people have asked a question about rankings. And interestingly, I had a question yesterday about this on email. The university on the current all-world university ranking is in the top 500. In fact, it's gone up about 200 spots over the last 2 years because the research output is fantastic. Equivalent, that's higher ranked than many UK universities with medical schools. I won't mention any names on here because I don't want to get myself necessarily sued, but the actual world ranking there is going up all the time because of the exceptional outputs in terms of teaching and research. And one of the critical things I'm going to say here is Masaryk University is one of only few medical schools approved for US federal loans. So if you're a US student, you can get access to US federal loan. And the US only chooses a certain number of European programs for that particular loan program. So that demonstrates the quality of the program in terms of its USMLE passing rates, its match rates, those kinds of things. But you're basically going to a world top 500. And the world rankings are very much dominated by the Anglophone world because of the way the rankings work. So if you're looking at the ranking of Masaryk University, look at that and identify that you are going to one of the world's top medical schools, both in terms of teaching and research. Unfortunately, if you're a non-UK student, you won't be able to do your pre-internship in the UK hospitals unless there's an exchange agreement because of the way the visa system works now, I'm afraid. Okay. And let's go back. And then someone's asked, and there are students, I know because I've assisted students in the past, Helena, how many students that are at the university from South America? You do have a small number, I'm aware of.
Yes, unfortunately, we do have a small number. The reason is because we so far haven't had, a part of you, like a strong partner in South America countries, in Brazil, for example. But we are working on it. Yeah, we were mostly focused on European Union countries, Middle East, and North America.
Yeah.
So far, we have really several students from South America.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we did have some students, especially during the COVID period when more of the exams were online, because obviously they were a bit more accessible then, but the numbers are relatively small. Most of the students that come to us, who speak to us from about South America, are looking for other programs, say in Spain or Portugal, which we don't work with, obviously, because there's linguistic similarities there. And then some that do look, for example, at Italy. But we do get inquiries. And again, someone's asked about doing an exam for Masaryk if they're in Brazil. I would say if you drop me an email, I'll forward that email onto the university and they can reach out to you about the different opportunities that there might be for you in that particular instance.
We can discuss about in this case about the individual way of admission, but I think the same person asked us about if there are needed A levels, as you mentioned. We really accept students on the basis of minimum 3 A levels. Yeah.
Okay. And Medical Doorway, someone's asked if we do help with foundation program applications. We help with every single application you can make to any of the programs at Masaryk University's Faculty of Medicine. So yeah, be my guest. Go onto the application form. You can even choose on the Medical Doorway application form on our website, foundation program, if that's what you're wanting to do. Someone's asked to have to attend both days or only one day of the exam. You only have to attend one exam. It's all down to that. And unfortunately, you can't retake the exam in the same academic year. You can take it once. So make sure you do the preparation. And Masaryk University have a fantastic preparation program on top of what we provide, of which details were in the presentation that Susanna delivered. Someone's asked about an online exam. Now, we do have one online exam this year, but it's specifically for students in Turkey. So we work with counselors in Turkey. There is an online exam only for Turkish students for this year. If you are a student based in Turkey, please do get in touch with us or contact your school who we're linked with, and then we can send you details about that. But on the whole, most of the exams now are in person. This is a special one-off because Turkey being such a big country and it's a new exam for that part of the world. But Medical Doorway is responsible for running the exams. If you're not based in the UK, and someone's asked about a question about taking the exams in Dubai, Masaryk University do actually have representatives like Medical Doorway in various countries of the world, including in Dubai. So please contact the university and they will give details to you on how to sit the exam, say in the Emirates or another part of the world where we are not running exams. Okay, let's go through some of the questions there. Yeah, so someone's asked a nice question here. I like this one. What are the options for specializations for students after they graduate from university? I know about the students coming back to the UK, but perhaps, Helena, you can tell me more about the students' destinations after they leave, perhaps in other parts of the world, and where they go and how they specialize.
Actually, after the graduation, there are like 2 ways or 3 ways. Either students pass successfully the Czech national exam because they have a diploma from the Czech university, but in the English language, actually the English diploma, they have to pass the Czech language test, and they can choose the specialization or the clinic that they would like to specialize and work in a Czech hospitals. So the doors for the students are open in the same way like for Czech doctors, but they have to really pass the national Czech examination. Regarding the rest of the students, you can return to your home country because, as we mentioned, the program is fully recognized in the European Union because we are a European Union country. a part of UK, and but our degree is fully recognized in UK, is fully recognized in US. As I mentioned, we are helping students with the USMLE steps to successfully pass and be admitted for the residency in the United States. So I would say that the Masaryk University diploma is very worthy for your future professional career. The doors are really widely open everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. And I said the graduation rate and the kind of placement rate, both in the US and the UK, which I'm going to mention in a moment, has been fantastic. I've had the data directly in the UK. And that's the other thing. Even though Britain has left the European Union, the qualification from Masaryk University is still automatically recognized in the United Kingdom. So there's a carryover legislation, basically because beggars can't be choosers and the UK needs more doctors, and we weren't in a position of being able to put restrictions on doctors coming from, say, Masaryk University to the UK. And Masaryk University has built up some fantastic relationships with hospitals here. In fact, hospitals have been known to go to Masaryk University and interview the students in their final year in Brno to then give them conditional job offers before they've even graduated. And that demonstrates how well regarded not just the qualification is from the regulatory authorities in the UK, either GMC and the GDC, but by the employers, more importantly, by the employers, both in terms of medicine, yes, the NHS hospitals, but also those big dental conglomerates in the UK like Renshaw's or My Dentist, etc. So that's something you can be. You
are absolutely right, Ben. Currently, we already have many alumni, and as you mentioned, the British healthcare system is soaking Czech graduates a lot.
Okay, so for the foundation program, again, you will need A-levels as well, not because of the subject knowledge, but because it's a requirement for enrollment. That's very important for your enrollment purposes. You won't go through what we call the general nostrification procedure without that. For those of you that are asking about Medical Doorway, okay, we don't charge you, okay, at all. The only fee you'll have to pay is the university exam fee, so we can cover the costs of running the exam, which in London is £129 inclusive of VAT. There is no service charge levied by Medical Doorway at all. It's our job to kind of give you the opportunities to get into university and not kind of unnecessarily profit from your aspirations to become a doctor. Okay, so someone's asked, can you explain? I think for Susanna, I'm going to go back to you on this one. Someone just wants a bit of repetition about the requirements to pass the exam. So the exam obviously is 3 papers. Each paper is graded out of 100% effectively. Yes. So can you talk about exactly what levels we're looking for in medicine and dentistry?
Yes, so I mentioned that the pass mark for general medicine is 60%, but from the overall score, it means that you will have 3 tests. So if you have a weaker subject, you can still compensate on the other 2. So you don't need to have 60% from biology, 60% from chemistry, and 60% for physics. Of course, it would be ideal, yes, to have it on the same level. But sometimes it happens that the students, they have strong biology, chemistry, but the mathematics or physics is a bit weaker. So do not worry. If you can compensate on the other 2 parts, you will be fine.
Yeah, and it's biology, chemistry, and then the 3rd paper is the student's choice between maths or physics. So please, everyone panics when they see physics. If your strength is maths, then you can opt for the maths paper rather than a physics paper, and you decide that on the day of the exam. Now,
yes, I would just like to add that if you choose mathematics, of course you can, because if you feel strong, you can pass the entrance exam with that. But do not forget about physics. Yes, because physics, your first exam in the first semester will be biophysics. So you can choose math for the exam, for the entrance exam, but do not forget about the physics completely.
One thing I'll say about that, one of our students who's a first year, who's in his 2nd semester now at Masaryk University, he got his offer in the early exam in April last year. He actually pre-studied the physics, and I think he told me he found that a huge benefit going into the medical school. So even though your A-levels might be finished, if you're not a gap year student at the end of June, please don't relax. It's like a marathon. If you stop, you may struggle to get started again. So let's carry on. Okay. The Vice Dean's going to have to leave us now. So thank you so much for taking your evening. And I know it's an hour ahead of the UK. So thank you. And thanks again for all your support and your sterling work for the Medical Doorway students out in Brno. Okay. So what about graduation for non-EU students and non-US?
Thank you very much and good luck to all. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye now. Have a great evening. So someone's asked about what about graduation for non-EU students and non-US and UK? In fact, the situation is largely the same. If you look at all of our non-EU citizens, most of them are getting jobs in the UK if they want them. And in fact, our non-US students, given the level that of USMLE results that Masaryk University have, often find themselves getting their first or second matching when it comes to residencies. In fact, Helena, you do have a significant number of non-EU and non-USA and non-UK students who are studying with you and going elsewhere. Am I right?
Yes, you are right. Every year we accept approximately about 200 international students. Half of them are non-EU students, half of them are EU students. And as Ben mentioned, there are like a significant number of students from Japan. Yeah. Almost all of them, they return back to Japan to work as physicians. But for example, students from UAE, they usually find the jobs in US or UK. I think last time there were several students that they got a job in Ireland. So I guess with this diploma, as I mentioned, because it's EU diploma, you can get the job no matter of your nationality. But as Ben said, we cannot guarantee what will happen after the 6 years, how the political situation change. But we strongly believe that the admission in any hospital around the world will depend on your diploma and on your knowledge. Yeah. And this diploma is really strongly valid.
Yeah. And like I said, there are hundreds of doctors and dentists from Masaryk University working across the United Kingdom, both in the big cities and in the provinces as well. There's a couple of questions about the International Baccalaureate. One asked about IB, chemistry or biology. In fact, I would say near enough all the time, our International Baccalaureate students have biology and chemistry at higher level, with maths usually AA at the standard level. If your school doesn't offer you the opportunity of doing biology and chemistry at higher level, then something like the additional preparation work that Masaryk University can offer for the exam will help. Alternatively, you might even find that the foundation pathway is more appropriate for you, but you wouldn't need to make that decision until at least you've had a go at the entrance exam. So you can still prep, have a go at the entrance exam, and then see how your knowledge is. And then if you need some additional knowledge, the foundation program is there for you. And we've had students go through the foundation program, and often they find the first year of medicine a lot more straightforward than perhaps those students going straight into first year. I think Susanna will agree with me on that.
Yes, definitely, because they will also already adapt to Brno. They will adapt to the faculty system, to the teachers, because the same teachers that will teach you in the first year of your studies will be teaching you during the foundation year. So I think it makes their life easier then.
Maybe Corey can tell us his experience. How was your preparation for the entrance examination test? Because you are French. So what was the most difficult for you?
I got a specific thing, I guess, because I did my first year in France, which then because of COVID was problem with the nurses. My old faculty closed, big problems. So I just sent my grades from my first year, and I was accepted without entrance exam. So I don't know. I'm the bad person from this. I'm sorry, but from the other French people which I know, I was with my best friend, which came with me, and he had to do it because he was not in the first year, and he entrance exam, and yeah, he studied for it was continuous, let's say, for this semester. And it's all about consistency. If you're consistent, you will be a doctor. If you're not, then it's going to be more complicated. So yeah.
There's a question just about the title of the degree. I'll deal with this one quite quickly. Please don't worry when we use the word diploma. It's a catch-all term for any qualification. The qualification you get after qualifying from Masaryk University in medicine is MUDR, which basically is the Latin. It's a master's degree in medicine or a master's degree in dentistry. So it's not a diploma. In the UK, we rank things by certificate, diploma, degree, masters. When we use the word diploma in Europe, we just use it to refer to any qualification, whether it be a high school diploma, master's degree diploma, PhD diploma. So it is a master's degree that you will get. And that's standard for all kind of usually medical programs in Europe. Now, one thing I want Corin to mention there was admission without the entrance exam. We do have some opportunities. If you are a gap year student, say your A-levels were AAB in biology, chemistry, and physics or maths, there are a certain number of seats if you apply early where you could be exempted from the entrance exam. I do have to reiterate, that's for gap year students who've acquired the grades, not students who are on predicted grades. So we always get asked that because my experience is predicted grades bear very little correlation to the grades you achieve in August. So please don't try that pathway. If you are a gap year student with AAB or above in those 3 of those 4 subjects, please do get in touch with us and we'll see if you qualify for direct admission like Corentin did. Okay. Right. Let's have a quick look. Is there a deadline to make the application? It depends on your nationality. If you need a visa, the earlier you make the application and the earlier you get the exam done, the better. Our last exam is the 30th of June, which is right at the end of June. And that will literally be the last possibility for anyone, even British students, to apply because the time required to get a visa. I don't know if you have any other exams after that, Helena, in other parts of the world, but from the UK perspective, 30th of June is our last exam. So we need the applications about a week before then.
Yeah, unfortunately, because the currently applicants from EU, from UK needs a visa, and a visa procedure takes some time. So the latest entrance exam is in June, as the Ben mentioned. We also set the date for the students from Turkey. The Turkey will be in May, so applicants from Turkey should contact Ben directly to get this information. Yeah, we have later entrance examination, but they are not for UK students. They are for EU students from like Germany. Right?
Just to say that the exam on the 30th of June is for those students who have got a British passport or European passport.
True,
if you're living in the UK and have you a Nigerian passport or an Indian passport or a passport from another country that needs a visa to travel to the Schengen area, you need to do the exam on the 14th of April. There will not be the opportunity of taking the exam. The reason Brits can take it on the 30th of June is because even if there's a slight delay on the visa, we can travel for 90 days in the Schengen area visa-free, and also they don't take biometrics from British CAP students either, so we can actually do our visa applications through the mail if we need to. We try to avoid that because it's easier to do it in person, but at least we've got that 90-day period. But as I want to reiterate the point, if you're a non-British and non-EU citizen, you need to take the exam in London, 14th of April. June is only reserved for those who've got a British or European passport. So we've dealt with that question. Okay, so are there separate national exams to work in, say, France or Spain for Masaryk graduates? No, because the European Union qualification, the only thing you need to demonstrate, and this would be the same if you're coming to Britain, is to speak the language of that country fluently enough to communicate with patients. So if you want to register in France, you will have to be able to speak French. If you want to register in Spain, you'll have to be able to demonstrate you can speak Spanish. In fact, even if you come to Britain, even if you've got a British passport, you need to demonstrate that you can speak English by taking an IELTS test. It's just the thing that the GMC has to protect patients. It's perfectly understandable. It's just one of those hoops you've got to jump through, one of those boxes you've got to tick. So someone's asked about scholarships. There are some forms of scholarships, I believe, aren't there? Some small types of scholarships.
Yes, there are the scholarship regarding the study average. There are scholarship for the accommodation, the dean's reward. For example, if you support the university and the faculty in a different ways, like if you are the part of the MIMSA and helping students and the faculty with the orientation week, some events. So there are several kind of scholarship like this. Unfortunately, we do not provide scholarship regarding the tuition fee.
Yeah. So the scholarships are more smaller, related to certain aspects, and some of them are merit-based once you're in the university. I do have to say they're not going to be significant in terms of reducing the tuition fees substantially. So if 15,000 euros for medicine or around about there is too much, please get in contact with me and we'll see what other opportunities would be for you. Basically, the university, like British universities, recruits international students to kind of invest in facilities and infrastructure and things like that. So they do need that revenue to be able to offer you the best service they can. It is not a profit-making venture, actually. Everything that is spent goes straight back in to the university. Okay, university, someone asked about USMLE exams, Helena, about what help the university provides. I know that you will reimburse the student for the USMLE exams if they do well, but what access does the university have to opportunities for the student to prepare for USMLE?
I would say there are like a couple of ways. The content of the USMLE step is already included into some courses. From the first year, maybe Corey gives you the more specific information about the anatomy, because the anatomy is already included the requirements for the USMLE step. Then the USMLE is requirements are part of pathophysiology and clinical years. And our university, our faculty has students that they are helping. We are teachers that they are helping, books they are helping, tutoring, and also we also have a scholarship that I didn't mention. So if you pass USMLE step successfully, the faculty will pay you back all expenses. Can Corey specify, for example, the anatomy requirements?
Yeah, on the first year, you will have one program which is USMLE for the anatomy. It's basically 3 tests throughout the whole year, 1 in the first semester and 2 in the second, where you will cover the whole program in multiple choice question based test, where you will compete with everyone. And the top 5% get 3 points, the top 10% got 2 points, etc., etc., etc. And if you got 6 points total out of 9 possible, you can have the chance to the oral to skip the oral examination and just do your dissection, which is a practical exam. And if you succeed it, then you can skip the oral of anatomy, and that's the best thing to do because it's what I was part of, and that's a really rewarding type of investment in your study. Yeah.
Perfect. And like I said, one of the strengths I know at Masaryk, especially for USMLE Step 1, because USMLE Step 1, for those who don't know, it is a science-based exam. The level of kind of anatomy knowledge, etc., you will pick up at Masaryk University, given the kind of the fact that you do full-body cadaveric dissections, which actually many British medical schools don't offer, is a level above what you would often need for getting a very good score on the USMLE Step 1. Okay. Someone's asked a question about they're an older student, a mature student, they've got a family. What are the facilities? Does the university provide facilities to help support mature students in studying?
Facilities, actually, we have a very wide library. I currently do not remember how many thousands, 100,000 of volumes. And students can study in this big library. I remember that some UK students told us that it looks like from Star Trek. And students can borrow the expensive books, atlases, memoirs from the library and study there. Also, there's a bookshop. The other support of the facilities is several cafeterias inside of the campus. And nevertheless, I would mention the MIMSA. Maybe we didn't provide the big space to Corey to explain us whatever MIMSA together with the medical faculty is doing and how it's helping and entertaining students. If you could please.
Yes. So MIMSA, as we mentioned, is the Masaryk International Medical Student Association, and it's the student association that it will help you throughout your whole studies. If I speak about first year, you will have the orientation week that we spoke about, which is really, really nice. I was part of it before being in MIMSA, of course. It was amazing. Like, it's like the moment where you'll gather all your friends, and that's an amazing thing to do. Then, as we mentioned for the Anatomy USMLE, we have mock-ups. So I have my education team, which I follow along, where we create our own question, which are similar to what will be on the test, to make you learn and be prepared for the test. We have the tutoring, which means that if you need some help, the student, as much as me, I am also part of it, will help you throughout your studies. We have the charity, because it's the main goal of our association. I'm not making any money. The association is not making any money. We are giving back to charities. We have also sports event, a lot of them, in a really, really nice sports faculty, which is just 2 minutes at walk from the campus, which is really nice. We have from time to time ceremonies, so like balls and an event to like kind of go our head away from studies for one evening. And we also have a welfare team, which can help you in hard moment in a more personal level, which is, I think, something that is really nice. For example, like it's a really private thing where only one person has access to the account and will help you. I don't have access to it. So even if you're shy and you feel bad for whatever reason, I will be like, the person will be there to follow you along, and I will not be aware of it. So don't worry. It's really private and personal. And yeah, that's mainly it. And it's like a follow along throughout your whole studies. Like I would say that every student is part of MIMSA in some way. Like you have always the promotion when you're a MIMSA member. Every MIMSA event that we are doing, you will be like a really reduced fee, if there is a fee, because for example, like the sports event, they are for free. The charity event, most of them are for free. It's just like, let's say you bringing cakes and we sell the cakes to everyone. So yeah, that's honestly the best student organization, in my opinion. It's not because I'm the president, but I really love it. Like it's really living and you feel really included as a whole. We are not like people who are over the student and trying to control everything. It's a really friendly type of association. It's like, I would say it's the best word. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen actually a number of the MIMSA presidents in the past have been Brits who are now working here in the UK. And the environment that the MIMSA group organises for students and the environment it provides not just supports the students, pastorally, but the actual academic, benefits that the students get from being an active member of MIMSA are significant, and they can often be the thing that makes the difference between success and not, and failure, really. And I think, the fact that you've got this great community group in Brno is a real strength, and it's something which many other medical schools don't have, and the students can only benefit from that. Okay, before we finish off, we've more or less dealt with all the questions, and I want to say thank you to the person that said thank you, but I want to show you guys how to apply with Medical Doorway to Masaryk University, and it's very simple. I'm going to share my screen. So if we go to Safari, so you've got the Medical Doorway website right here. If you want more information on Masaryk University, you can find it very easily. Okay, all the information is here, locations, we've got videos. In fact, for those of you that came to our open day in November, you would have met a number of the staff there, and it was one of our best open days at all. So if you are on the Masaryk page, you can click the Czech application form. And if you want to take the exams in the UK, you can. If you want to do the online exam, which is for Turkish-based students, that link is there as well. And then it was a very simple procedure of just filling the form in on here, choosing if you want to do medicine, dentistry, or foundation program. If you can, upload a copy of your passport. It helps us fill the application in for you, and then hit submit. It's a very simple application form to fill in. Will take you no more than 10 minutes. And then once that's in, you'll then be able to start on your exam prep using the materials that we can provide, which we are developed, or specifically the university ones, which are unique to Masaryk University, if that's where your focus is. Okay. Unfortunately, there is no such, a college counsellor from the UK has asked about fee reductions for disadvantaged students or contextual offers. Unfortunately, there's no such system to provide that funding. Quite interestingly, we have started to have conversations with people within the British government, and by the looks of it, the subsequent British government, which we'll get this year once we have our election, that is something we are discussing at the moment about how the British authorities can provide access to medical education overseas for British students in higher end institutions like Masaryk University. So I would say if you've got a question, if you're from a school and you've got that question, please do reach out to me. It is something we are working on at the moment, but as we're in an election year, it is all in flux in the UK, I'm afraid. Hasn't been helped by us leaving the European Union, I do have to say. Okay, we've dealt with all the questions. In fact, we've dealt with over 50 questions there, and that is a great number of questions, and it's fantastic to have so many people joining us this evening. I do want to say a huge thank you to the Vice Dean, to Susanna, to Helena. We've had a long relationship of working together, and I've seen many British students enroll and, more importantly, graduate and come to work in the NHS. I do want to say thank you to Corentin for giving his time, which could have been better spent studying for his for exams, etc. But he's given that time to spend with you tonight and to ask the questions. For those of you that want to see a recording of this, you just go to Medical Doorway on YouTube, click on live, you'll see the recording of this webinar here. We will be emailing out a link to everyone who joined us for those 100 odd people who registered, a number of which couldn't make it, but we'll email it out to everyone as well. If you do need any more information, medicaldoorway.com, hello@medicaldoorway, or even just drop us a WhatsApp through our website. Alternatively, if you want to divert a question to the university, their information is easy to get hold of. Or if you want us to kind of send that on to you, please just do get in touch with myself or the team, Marina, etc., here in the office in Staffordshire. I do want to say a huge thank you to everyone who joined us. Thank you again to the team from Brno. Have a pleasant evening, a great weekend, and we hope to see more of you enrolling in Brno, in what is I believe, one of the most beautiful cities in the whole of Europe, as well as one of the safest and hippest cities in the whole of Europe in September. We'll definitely be there. It takes a lot to keep us away from Brno. Until next time, stay safe and hope to see you soon.